Can you tell us a little bit about the economics of dating apps?
Yeah, I dated a woman for a while who worked for Bumble, and I can tell you that the odds are not in your favor, especially if you're a man. Watch out. First of all, if you're a man and you get a match, you're in the top 1% of people, of men getting on the apps. Nobody gets a match. 99. If you get a match, there are 99 men not getting matches. Okay, so you're already winning the game. And if you get a match, the chances of you actually meeting and having a relationship are also not very good, because these apps make money when you feel unfulfilled, so you come back to try to get more. They're not selling you a relationship. They're selling you the feeling of doing something about being lonely.
Wow. That's really powerful. So what do you think people should do to combat this? How do people solve this problem?
I think you should get off of apps and go do things in real life that you enjoy.
This is Steven from Sad Money, and I am here with
comedian Brendon Lemon.
Brendon, thank you for being on Sad Money today. We appreciate it. I love your content on TikTok, by the way. What's your TikTok?
It's at Brendon freaking Lemon, spelled with an O, Rendon.
Brendon with an O, because oh shit, he's
Watch
dropping
out.
the knowledge. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, at Brendon freaking Lemon. Dude, I'm happy to be here. I love the pod.
This is long overdue. Yeah, I feel like because you always tackle hard hitting subjects. I think so. I love hearing about that, hearing your takes on it. One thing we were talking about was the cost of living crisis. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I think this is so. There's a lot to this, but the basic... First of all, everybody watching this knows what I'm talking about. Everything is just outrageously expensive, and you can't afford it, and everything that you used to be able to buy, you can't buy anymore. Gas is up, clothing is up, food is way up, rent is up, it's too high, everybody understands this. I feel like it is all because one, we printed a ton of money to deal with the pandemic, and two, a certain amount of the inflation that we're all dealing with is coming from greedy corporations. And because prices can rise faster than wages, those have not caught up. That's basically the situation. It is so much easier for a small room full of people to go, yeah, we'll just increase all of our prices 20%. Everybody does that across the board, and now nobody's competing over price, and that's because a tremendous number of the places you shop at, eat at, live at, are owned by a diminishing number of mega corporations that have holding companies that own those different brands.
Yeah. And like we're even seeing cuts in some of those products now. So that makes you go, oh, they could have done this the entire time.
Dude, so that's called shrinkflation, what you're describing. And what it is that these pernicious, terrible, evil, they're evil.
They are evil.
These evil corporations will take the thing you used to buy and get, like, let's say, a whole unit of it, and then they'll increase the price for, oh man, it's everything. Our costs are going up. We're passing that on to you guys. It's inflation.
Yeah.
And then the second they do that, they also reduce it so you get like 80% of what you were buying previously, so you're paying more money for less. That's happening all across the board.
So Ye said the Twix was bigger, but the Twix is actually smaller. That's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Damn.
You're getting less for more, not more for less.
That's crazy. We need to tell Ye, you got to see this, man. That's crazy. That's
I feel like we got to talk to Ye about some other shit too, though.
That's not my job, but yeah, for sure. I agree. So how do we fix this? I know it's such an open-ended question. What steps can we take? What's a good first step? What's a good first step to solve this crisis?
Yeah, a good first step to solve this crisis is to get together at your local political party meetings and demand that a part of your local platform be a agenda to solve shrinkflation, inflation, diminishing ability to purchase quality of life, like all of that. Yeah. And it needs to happen locally. And then it'll start feeding up. And I mean, like, and not to like really fall down the rabbit hole with this, but I feel like you're fighting a slow anaconda python crushing your life violence with an actual more effective outdoor aggressive type of violence against these corporations. They burnt down the BlackRock headquarters in Paris. That was pretty cool. I mean, like, Go do it. And actually, the French are a good example, man. something changes legally, they will go riot in the streets.
I was really impressed with the French too when they did that.
It was pretty cool, dude. We're not doing any of that kind of thing here. No. I mean, America's got a lot of barriers around to this. The problem with this is that the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was infrastructure. And the problem is that a lot of these issues, they bleed together. Infrastructure is one of these reasons because America has pursued a urban planning style that was influenced by major moneyed powers in the 20th century. So part of the reason the French are able to do this is because they actually have physical spaces they can go, physical places where they can connect with each other and actually be in person protesting. That's very difficult to do in the United States. If you're not in a major city, most of the United States is rural actually, and a huge amount of the population lives in places where you have to have an automobile, you have no public transportation. All of these people are separated from each other. Most people watching this, probably if you're an American, you don't know your neighbors and you may have lived next to them for years. One of the first things you can do is start trying to break out of that box and and this is why local politics is important, try to push for an agenda of local urban planning so that there are public spaces and public transportation.
Yeah, because even in the city, it's like, even though there's so many people here, people are more disconnected than ever before.
Oh yeah, and we're in a city in which people are so easily connected. I mean, that's the thing that's crazy is New York is one of the few places in America where people can really actually easily connect. Yeah. We just came here from Washington Square Park.
Yeah.
And Washington Square Park is a place where I've met a lot of amazing people.
Yeah.
I've lived in New York only for a few years. I've lived in Metro Detroit my entire life in one area. I grew up in that area for years. And the only people I met were people I met from school. There's zero public spaces you can go to meet people. And if you're watching this in America, that's probably true of your life.
Yeah. So then, you're just living in the same bubble for the rest of your life, which is scary to think about. That's scary.
I think it's terrifying to think. I think it's not just terrifying, it's depressing. Because the thing that I get really riled up about, and if you watch my TikToks, it's mostly me walking around New York getting pissed off about stuff. And it makes me really mad because people forget a lot of these political things that sound really abstract, like the cost of living crisis. Oh man, this is so frustrating. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know. These things are interconnected and they all have real bearing on people's daily lived existences. Yeah. Like you have less friends because you don't probably have public transit in your area. You don't have a good place to go. One of the biggest costs right now in the cost of living crisis is childcare. Most of the rest of the world doesn't have to pay that, either because one, it's publicly funded like it is in Europe, and yet somehow they can afford it. Yeah. Two, there's a lot of public spaces, and I mean, you can go look this up online. Barcelona's great for this, where people can go and just let their kids play around. You can go sit at a cafe, do work, your kids will be playing at a playground. You don't have to drive somewhere, and there are plenty of other parents around, and that's how you meet those parents. That's how you meet those people who can care for your kids. So you don't have to go out. We are forced, because of the way that we live in the United States, to seek out private, transactional solutions to problems that used to be solved in a community.
Yeah. Or with a family unit.
Yeah, but even the family units that we have in the United States, the concept of the nuclear family was invented and pushed in a government agenda influenced by major corporate powers. Because you can how does capital work? It works because you keep things in a family. It's so much easier. It's fungible, it's manageable, it's discrete. It's very different in an actual community of real people. And that's the way human beings have lived, by the way, for most of our history.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, go read Sussman work.
Sussman, okay.
Yeah, or go read David Graeber's The Dawn of Everything.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I know my brother, he's got 2 kids, under 2. They spend like $30,000, $40,000 a year in childcare.
Insane.
Yeah, I'm
Insane.
like...
That's another income. Yeah. That is another income.
Yeah, I'm like, break off a piece for Uncle Steven. Yeah. I'll be there whenever you need me. Let me know. Call me up. But...
You know what that $30,000 could have paid for? It could have paid for those kids' college fund savings for the future. It could have paid for a trust fund for those kids. It could have paid for additional things in the economy that would have kept it going. It could have paid for new clothes for them. It could have paid for. It could have been donated and been given locally to a community, so there would be a park where people could do that. Yeah. That's where that money goes. And instead, it went towards childcare.
Yeah. Clothes for my brother too. I want to, my brother deserves good things too. But
it could have paid for a vacation. That's a quality of life issue that is priced out in America.
That's very true. So I get this like feeling. So
I just showed up and assaulted you with all of this. Like
this is good. This is good. I think we need to come to terms with the reality that the time of easy money is gone.
Gone.
And the childhoods that we grew up with which were great. Mine was very great.
That was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
That was okay.
I come from upper middle class household, so it was great. But I feel like it's harder for people to achieve that now.
This is we as millennials, and if you're watching this as a millennial, or more importantly Gen Z, are the least upwardly mobile generation in 100 years, and since the Gilded Age. And we are presiding over the first in recent American history lowering of quality of life and standards versus our parents. And you know what? They don't give a fuck. That's the problem.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're an entitled generation of selfish people who grew up in a world that was made pristine and easy for them, and they took it for granted. And they think that's reality. I'm really not kidding. I think that some of it can be explained by lead poisoning, for real. Actually, look up the symptoms. This isn't just America. The Roman Empire partially was maybe destroyed because lead was in everything they were consuming. Lead piping, they put lead in wine in the late Roman Empire. Pretty insane. Part of it might actually have to do with why it declined. So they actually, and I'm talking about boomers, I think have been affected by this. And the second thing is that they actually just grew up in a world that was easy, and they're too selfish and myopic and self-interested to be able to see beyond their own experience and understand that it's maybe different for an entire new generation of people. They thought progress was automatic and life got easier, and they don't understand that the hard work that they put in, which maybe they did, doesn't actually equate to the things that they they gained anymore. We get less for more. That's exactly. I have 5 online courses. I've written 3 books. Yeah. Okay. I've gone to college, and I have a lower standard of living than my parents. And my dad and my mother just both went to college. That's it.
What's their take on this when you talk to them about it?
Well, during the pandemic, I luckily got to sit down for 5 months at the dinner table with my parents and argue with them every single night about this exact issue. So I finally brought them over, I think, to my side, but it's taken a very long time.
And how did you bring them to your side? Was there an aha moment or an empathetic moment where they were like, wow?
Nope. It was a nonstop series of arguments, support that I would send forward, book passages. I bought my parents books to read about it. I would send them TED Talks and report articles online, and it just became overwhelming until finally they were like, all right, I guess you're right. And that was it took a very long time.
I found my parents stopped caring about me when they got their first grandkids.
Yeah, I think as soon as they got grandkids, they kind of were like, we don't have the energy for this anymore.
Yeah, they're like, we got what we wanted, and good luck.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. But that's okay. Now I'm allowed to do what I love to do. So I'm okay with that trade.
That's good for them, man.
Yeah. I processed a lot.
I would love to have grandkids, but they made a bunch of bad fucking choices in the 90s.
I love my parents, by the way. But, yeah, anyways. So what do we do with that? Do we just wait for them to die?
I know, we vote things away from them. That's what we do. We need to go. Listen to me. This is extremely important. I don't know. I know your listenership is 8 of your friends. But if you're a Gen Z and you're watching this, you please go vote. Please. It is so incredibly important that you actually go vote.
So I like that a lot. I've always voted. When we're grappled with the decision of 2 very old people who should be in nursing homes, maybe not Trump, but definitely Biden. But when we have 2 bad choices, how does that make a difference? How do you make a difference now?
Yeah, I mean, it's not good, but you can't completely check out of the system, right? It's it's unfortunately, this is the way democracy works, is by collaboration, and you have to unfortunately deal with what you've got, and it sucks. Yeah. But I think going to local meetings and demanding, I'm serious, go show up at local political meetings and demand your agenda get on the platform. Yeah. That's how you do it. Yeah. And you need to show up. You need to show up and be pissed off. Tweeting about it's not going to help. Making TikToks about it isn't going to help. Yeah. You need to show up to places, and you need to convince old people to not vote for the shit they want to vote, the dumb, short-sighted things they want to vote for. Or better yet, convince them not to vote. Actually, tell them, hey, your time is over. Please get out of the political process. If you have old people in your life, please, for the love of God, ask them to retire. Yeah. just like ask them to retire, get out, especially if they're in politics. Wow, I didn't know I would get this fired up on your podcast.
No, I like that. I love this. Yeah. So, okay, maybe that was the general election, but you know, we live in New York, right? You've been here under the Adams agenda.
Yeah.
So he's younger. He's Gen X. He's an older Gen X, Adams, or a young boomer. But he's probably one of the worst, if not the worst, mayors we've had.
Do you think he was worse than, really?
Yeah, because DeBlasio, in my opinion, DeBlasio cared about the people. He's just stupid. Eric Adams is kind of looking out for his own self-interest. DeBlasio did a little bit, but it was not as blatant as this guy. Like, DeBlasio did stuff for school lunches. He really wanted to fund education.
I mean, aside from putting cops in the subway, I couldn't tell you a single thing Eric Adams done.
Yeah. He hasn't done much. He's paid himself a lot of money through different special vehicles and special purpose. Yeah.
Classic Gen X move.
Yeah. But
get yours, fuck the system.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues in New York that I think are representative of the nation, the world as a whole. A tough one, big issue, is the migrant crisis, or however you want to slice and dice it, whatever you want to call it, the migrant crisis. What do you think is a good solution to this, right? What's even a good first step? Yeah.
Yo, man, I mean...
It's hard.
Yeah, I don't have a good... I don't know, you're asking... Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, honestly, they're the hardest... Some of them are the hardest working people I've ever met.
Yeah.
So I feel like, partially, you got a right to... Mexican people can cook any food on the planet, bro. You get a lemon in this country. You go to any kitchen in New York, it's Mexican people.
Yeah, line cook, everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Thai place, Mexican person. Korean barbecue, Mexican person.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's kind of we should be looking into why they can't succeed in their own country doing this shit. That's the real $1 million question. I'm gonna get canceled for that answer.
No. We'll cut that out. But, all right, this is maybe another issue that's probably a little easier to talk about, which is like the housing crisis. There's a housing crisis in New York, but it's also all over America. How can we take steps to solve the housing crisis that's going on right now?
All right, this is gonna be a real...
Yeah.
This is a serious answer. All this stuff is like, I feel like I was gonna come on here and I was like, this is gonna be so fun, it's sad money. And then like now I'm like, oh, dude, all this knowledge in the books is coming up.
That's what we want.
Stop losing my mind.
Yeah.
All right, that old lady got so scared. All right, so here's the problem. Housing in the United States has completely been broken, and it's been broken for decades, okay? The United States overbuilt and overlent because people could get easy money. They could get access to cheap money. That's basically ended, but that ended horribly in 2008, and as a result, the United States for the last 16 years has been underbuilding homes. And that crisis, by the way, we saw coming. We meaning journalists, the public, Housing and Urban Development Department of the United States federal government, they saw that we were be underbuilding all of this, okay? So it came. Some of it's a result of zoning laws that need to be updated and changed, which, by the way, again, go to your local political meetings, demand that your agenda be put on the local platform, okay? Some of it has been because housing in the United States is not seen as a right. It's also seen as an investment, which it isn't. I mean, your largest investment, people talk about your largest investment's your home. No, it isn't. It's your largest liability. Housing doesn't work as an investment like other things. All of these giant financial institutions are trying to insinuate themselves into every single thing that you do in your life that isn't meant to be an investment and make it an investment. Okay? So this is why BlackRock is buying up huge swaths of single-family homes out in Texas, and it's changing the market. It's warping things that are going on. How do you get this done? You go demand that the United States put money into allowing people to build more homes and changing zoning laws. That's what happens. You go, and I'm serious about this, when I was like, yo, we need to get super angry and we need to like go riot and torch stuff. Go to corporate, I mean, literally, go, if you're, like, get together with a bunch of homeless people in your community, break into a corporate office, and then set up. They're not going to work, dude. They're all working from home. Change it. Take over the space. Let them live there. These people don't have houses. It's like, I really think it's crazy. Go like, we need to take money from the people who have the money and don't know what to do with it because they have too much of it, and take it from them and repurpose it. I mean, they've been taking money from you, dude. That's all that shrinkflation shit.
That is true. That's very true. It's
So when I say it, I mean go vote this stuff. Seriously. Go take money from we need to have wealth tax on billionaires. We need a one-time wealth tax to take all the money from the people who made it during the pandemic and redistribute it. We went through a crisis, and you're not allowed, because the community is a group of people who care about each other, to unfairly profit from the crisis that affected all of us negatively. That's my real feelings. You could take that, and you know what? Vote Lemon 2024.
He's on the ballot. He's jumping on the ballot.
Instead of tell all your relatives not to vote for, I will put a bunch of clips online of me saying insane, ridiculous, right-wing shit. Show that to your stupid relatives and tell them I'm running for Republican. Don't vote for Trump. He's part of the deep state. Write my name on the ballot.
People will vote for you off a clip, for sure. That's 2024.
Dude. Lemon 2024. You people are lemmings.
Yeah. That's, you said something really interesting about housing being a human right. Was that ever the case here? Or was there a time when that switched, when people started to not feel that way? It's such an insane thing to think about, housing not being a human right. Because it's easy to think about other people, but like your family, like it's insane.
If you're not a young earth creationist and you believe that the scientific and anthropological explanation of where human beings have come from is true, and you have to believe anthropologists and like David Graeber, who write about this in the dawn of everything. And what James Sussman, and other people who have studied this have said is that human beings probably lived for somewhere in the neighborhood of over 100,000 years, okay? That is people like me and you who have similar vocabularies, who look similar to us, who can understand each other's motivations. And 100,000 years isn't a long enough amount of time for a significant amount of evolution to take place to make us completely differentiated from those people. If that's true, then we need to understand that those people would have never allowed anyone in their community to go homeless, ever. That would have never happened. Because those people cared about each other and their survival depended on one another. This is a completely modern creation. And I think every time you have to walk by someone who's begging on the streets, who clearly is in a bad situation, and you don't do anything about it, that's violence you're doing to you, imposed on you by the system we live in. And I don't think you should feel responsible for it, because there's no other way that we can live. I mean, it would be physically impossible for you to help, especially in a city like New York, all these people. And a lot of them have mental health problems and all kinds of things like this, and you're not equipped to solve those problems. But you know who is equipped? We are all equipped. This is all equipped. Hey, if Jeff Bezos can buy a second yacht to fulfill his first yacht's utilities needs, he can fucking pay for a homeless place in this city to house every single homeless person. By the way, just a statistic you should know, there are more open, vacant properties in New York that are being left vacant than there are homeless people on the streets. It's a choice.
It's creating like
America has chosen its priorities, and those priorities are fuck you, give me money.
It's true. It's true.
I feel like this is going to completely blow my career.
I don't know. I think this is reasonable. I think a lot of people actually agree with this. Yeah.
Can I just say one more thing? Yeah. If this sounds crazy to you, if all this stuff I'm saying sounds nuts to you, okay, then I think something you need to I need to think about actually is that during the American during the antebellum South, or pardon me, the antebellum, the pre-Civil War South. The pre-Civil War South, when people owned slaves in the United States, there's a guy named John Brown. John Brown was crazy, right? Okay. John Brown wanted to go raise an army, break into the armory at Harper's Ferry, arm all of the slaves he liberated from a local plantation, and create that army to then go wage war on the South. He actually would take a crew of people, go into plantation owners' houses, murder the plantation owners, and tell the slaves they were free. He would do that. People thought he was nuts, obviously, for this. People were like, this is crazy. This guy's going around doing this. Yeah. But John Brown woke up in a world every day in which people were being owned by other people. Something that we know to our core is the most abhorrent thing that can happen today. Yeah. What was he supposed to do in that situation? Because waking up and allowing that to continue to happen was tantamount to agreeing with the system. And I don't know if we can do that. And I think you and I both know in our souls when we look in the mirror at the end of the day that we feel pretty bad that there's a lot of fucking shit in this country that really sucks, and we could improve it in almost no time.
Yeah.
Almost no time. If we just took the money from the greedy people who had it.
Yeah. Yeah, because even if you make it, you have to wake up and see that life is hell for everyone else. Like, it's awful. That's an awful way to live.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better for anybody else.
And it's not about being selfish. It doesn't mean you can't succeed. It doesn't mean you can't care about your family, work hard, try to put things away for yourself. It's not about that. There are people who have billions of... If you're watching this, you're not a billionaire, okay? Billionaires don't watch this program, all right? If you're watching this, you probably have a net worth of under 9 figures, okay? Nobody in this country needs to have a net worth of 9 or 10 figures.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to happen.
True.
All right? Doesn't need to happen. And those are the people we're talking about. They're not like you and me. They're not like whoever the hardest working person you know is, who makes the most money, who works so hard, you think they deserve it. They probably do, because that person doesn't even come close to how much money Jeff Bezos or Peter Thiel or Elon Musk has. And there's no way any of them can justify their fortunes, because I bet they don't work as hard as the hardest working person you know.
Right. Right. They just knew how to take advantage of the financial system.
And they got lucky.
And they got... For sure. They got lucky as well. Okay. How about this? This is an interesting question. Let's just say America was a video game console and you hit reset. How would you want it to restart?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, the part of the problem is, like, I don't have the silver bullet solution. I don't know if there is a silver bullet solution. I think crowdsourcing the solution to this problem starts with people getting politically involved at a local level and demanding their agendas get put on the platform. I'm really serious. And I think a big part of it has to do with getting big money out of politics. Yeah. I think a ranked choice voting, probably also a big important step to get away from a two-party system. And I think if you can't probably pass a driving test, you probably shouldn't be, due to age, you probably shouldn't be allowed to also run for political office.
I kind of like that.
All of the founding fathers, all of them were young dudes.
They were, yeah.
They were all young dudes. Some of them as young as 20 years old.
Okay.
19 years old. And that is the kind of person who has the energy to go into government. True. The founding fathers would probably see our government currently as absolutely insane, abhorrent. First of all, because women and black people are in it. But secondly, because they are not young. They're hearing only about a series of small, ridiculous issues that a small political elite class of people care about. Yeah. And the solution is not voting for a demagogue, by the way.
Right.
Unless that person is me.
Brendon 2024.
Brendon 2024, you are lemmings.
Good.
I can't tell if this is good or not. I'm trying to gauge your reactions, Alex, and you seem so bored by this whole
no, my cousin just had his baby. I was thinking,
oh, shit. Congratulations to Alex's cousin just had his baby. Say congratulations to Alex, everybody. The one great area of innovation that is coming and is happening right now is AI. But what are your thoughts on AI?
Yeah, man. I think this is very scary. Yeah. I think AI is scary because I think the power of AI, especially when it collides with quantum computing and increasing computing power, is going to... There's a great show you should watch called Devs, D-E-V-S, Devs. Okay. It was on Hulu a while ago. You should go check it out. It has to do with exactly this concept. Okay. There's a AI system connected with a quantum computer that can do things that no human being can possibly ever do. Yeah. And the computing power controlled by a small number of private moneyed interests is going to pursue, the power of that is going to pursue their interests. And you and I might get a small access to part of it, and that'll help us be more productive, which is great. But it's not going to be allowed to build the world you want to build. Yeah. It's going to build the world they want to build. And I don't know if you want to be part of that world, because all of those people are all the kids that were the biggest nerds in high school. And boy, do they have grievances, man. They weren't cool. People didn't want to fuck them. They probably still don't, which is why dating apps don't let anybody ever end up in a relationship. And I don't know if you want their personalities programming the most powerful intellect the world has ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because it's private interests for the most, the largest technological breakthrough we've ever seen. And the economics of that are being controlled.
Yes.
They're not going to be shared with the public at all.
No, they're already not sharing their money with you.
Yeah.
Why would they share why would they share this power with you?
Yeah.
You can pay for it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. For sure. So that's what, worries me. But I guess use it to your advantage if you can. I don't know. Yeah.
There's a small amount of time that you're going to have to use it to try to, make some profit off of it yourself. The rest of it is like the resources that these people are putting together so that they can control the game in their own pockets, which includes AI, are going to outpace anything you're going to be able to do. Yeah. And that's not true yet, but it's going to be true. Unless we do something about it.
Do you think regulation can step in quick enough or no?
Yeah. I don't understand. All right, look, one of the things I just want to say is like this, sometimes I have this conversation with people who have like, it's a fait accompli, it's already done, we can't. I'm not saying you're saying that, Steven. No. I'm just saying like sometimes people are like, well, is there anything we can really do about it? Yeah, we can go smash the servers in the places where this happens. And I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just saying, dude, we can pull the plug on all this stuff. Human society has destroyed and rebuilt itself so many times in the past. I'm not saying we should destroy it. I don't think that's a good idea. I think a lot of really bad things can happen. Yeah. But the power is always there.
Right.
And so it's not like we can't do, you can go arrest the billionaires. And I think that, I'm not saying we should do that because I don't think we should, but the power to do something is there. The world that we live in now, there's a really great quote by Mark Fisher, that we live in a world in which he called capitalist realism, in which all of the possibilities that we saw for the future have been foreclosed in our minds before we've even been able to imagine them. Why is it easier to foresee the end of the world than it is to understand and foresee and imagine the end of capitalism? The limit is your imagination. And you can imagine a better future.
It's really beautiful. I like that.
Thanks, man.
That gives me hope. What doesn't give me hope is the dating apps. Can you tell us a little bit about the economics of dating apps?
So I dated a woman for a while who worked for Bumble, and I can tell you that the odds are not in your favor, especially if you're a man. Watch out. First of all, if you're a man and you get a match, you're in the top 1% of people, of men getting on the apps. Nobody gets a match. 99. If you get a match, there are 99 men not getting matches. Okay, so you're already winning the game. And if you get a match, the chances of you actually meeting and having a relationship are also not very good because these apps make money when you feel unfulfilled. So you come back to try to get more. They're not selling you a relationship. They're selling you the feeling of doing something about being lonely.
Wow. That's really powerful. So what do you think people should do to combat this? How do people solve this problem?
I think you should get off of apps and go do things in real life that you enjoy, like going to your local political party meeting and demanding that your agenda get on the platform.
Meet a vote bay.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, that's how you. The number one predictor of relationship success is shared values, and where else are you going to meet somebody with a lot of values to share than at a political party with causes that you care about?
That's true. Political parties. Go to a run club. Those are big now, apparently.
Dude. Run, you know what I mean? Go to a run club and
you're a big runner. Why the fuck are you not doing this?
Convince them to run to the polls with
Tell this guy to go to a run club. Have you been to a run club yet?
I know a lot of people go to run clubs, but I go to a Muay Thai gym. I like running by myself.
You're not going to meet any women in a Muay Thai gym. Maybe one or two.
Dude, there's a lot of women to go to Muay Thai gyms.
How's it been going?
At the Muay Thai gym?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to shit where I eat.
So go to the run club. That's what I went to run clubs 10 years ago. No hate. They were ass central. But it sounds like everyone's going there now.
This is true. This is why. If you're single in your 30s, you're joining a run club.
Right.
I mean, it's where hot people go.
It's where hot people go.
Hot people who can't make friends elsewhere.
Yeah. God damn, I was 10 years too early. I'm ahead of my time. That's what I'm doing. I saw the vision.
Dude, Steven is...
I know all the run clubs. Central Park Track Club, I got you. East Side, whatever. Sorry.
If you want to be in a relationship, Steven's the kind of guy. If he wants to be in a relationship, he has the look of a dude who needs to bust out a guitar in a park. And if that doesn't work, get a dog.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to take care of those, so it looks like I'm going to the park.
Nah, man, let your girlfriend that you get take care of it.
Is there anything that you'd like to leave our audience with?
I mean, first of all, you can tell from this entire interview, I'm one of the chillest, least concerned motherfuckers you've ever met. And I have to say that if I care about one thing, it's follow me on TikTok, okay? At Brendon freaking Lemon, spelled with an O. And go to your local political party meeting and get your agenda on the platform.
Brendon, thank you very much.
You're welcome, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm sure this has ruined my chances at ever running for political office.
Something tells me you'll be fine.